So, if you know me, or if you take a look at my channel for like longer than a few seconds, you'll see that I really like Sonic. Today, I'm gonna share the story of my history with Sonic and why I adore this blue hedgehog with all my heart. So, when I was little, I would watch your average little kid shows from the early 2000s. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Sesame Street, Lazy Town, and so on. I also watched some Sonic shows though. When I was around 4, there was this TV station that I can't remember the name of, but I remember in the lineup it had Dragon Ball Z Kai, Sonic X, and The Spectacular Spider-Man. It was every Sunday morning, and if I was up at that time, I'd ask my dad to change the channel to that. This was my first exposure to Sonic and Dragon Ball, so from almost the start of my life, I've been a fan of those two franchises. I don't remember my exact thoughts on those two shows, but I can say I obviously liked them if I kept going back for more. I remember whenever ice cream trucks used to come around, there would be Sonic ice creams, Spider-Man ones, SpongeBob ones, you know, your typical things with those yummy little fucking gumball eyes. I got the Sonic ones pretty frequently, and reading the script I made is really making me want one. I watched Sonic Underground too, but that was a few years later compared to the other 3 shows that I mentioned. I remember watching on a Disney Channel though. It wasn't Disney Channel, it was just a Disney Channel. I want to say it was Disney XD. Sonic Underground would only come on at night, so, you know, if I had woken up and my dad was asleep, I would just put it on and, you know, fall asleep while watching it because it was fucking dark and I wanted more sleep. But I also wanted to watch Sonic. But eventually, once I was around 9 through 10, I just kind of stopped talking about Sonic and stopped, you know, taking as much interest in it. I don't think there was a specific cause for this. I guess I just started liking new things. There is one time I remember though, I was telling my girlfriend this story yesterday when I was taking my STAR test in 6th grade. The teacher watching my group asked if anyone needed to use the bathroom. Me being my usual dumbass self, Sonic ran less than a foot away to the teacher, and I could hear the other kids laughing. It really embarrassed me, and I still feel embarrassed about it when I think back about it. Even now, I sometimes still catch myself doing that dumb little run. I only brought the story up to her because I realized I was running like that for a few seconds. I installed this app called Amino right near the end of 6th grade. I got it because of Glitch Tale, an Undertale fan animation series by Kamala Kuvas? I'll never be able to say that. In one of the Glitch Tale videos, she got sponsored by Amino and made a Glitch Tale Amino. My little 12-year-old brain thought it was so cool, so I installed the app. I made 2 friends there and they introduced me to what role-playing was. There was a no roleplay rule on the Amino, but since we had a 3-way PM, I figured it was fine enough. I was always Sans, sometimes I'd be Papyrus, and on, you know, very few occasions Gaster, but mostly Sans. It was really cool to me, pretending to be a fictional character you like, so I stuck with it for, like, I don't know, 2-3 years maybe? Actually less than that, like 2 years. It took a few months, but eventually I learned that there was way more to Amino than just Glitch Tale. It was an app filled with different communities, each with their own Amino. There was a specific Glitch Tale Amino app that I had downloaded from, you know, the Play Store. I don't know why it had a specific app, but I'm not questioning it. So, you know, whenever I would launch it, it would take me to that specific Amino, just skip the whole, you know, HUD, I guess you could say, and everything. I had installed the actual Amino app, you know, eventually, and that's how I found out about all the other communities. The very first Amino suggested to me when I launched the app was the Sonic Amino, and God, was that a very insane ride. I know this section is titled Sonic Amino, but I forgot to add this to the script earlier, so I'll just add it in now. A few weeks before I got Sonic Amino, I discovered a creepypasta called Sonic.exe. Woo! That creepypasta of all things is what made me remember Sonic. Really weird way, but if it works, I guess. I was terrified of that story. It got to the point to where whenever I used to walk at night with my dad, I would always be in fear thinking he'd appear and get us. I watched Markiplier play the game made that was based on the story, and it terrified me even more because now I would think about the imagery in that game. You know, that fucking bum-ass I am God title screen. The... I mean, I guess there wasn't really any detailed sprite gore in that, but you know what I mean. That fucking ending screen, oh god, that shit freaked me the fuck out. It made me remember the Sonic ice cream, because, you know, it made me remember about Sonic 2, and Sonic ice cream just naturally came. Okay, fast forward to when I saw the Sonic Amino pop up in the recommendations. I got into the Sonic Amino and immediately made my account into a Sonic account. I used this GIF and had the name as Sonic in all lowercase. Since, you know, my grammar was awful back then. I joined a chat and started talking. Eventually I joined another one that was a roleplay focused chat. I spent a few days in that. Then got invited to a chat called Amy Rose Roleplay. It wasn't the roleplay of only Amy's. The maker of the chat, who I used to talk to a lot, roleplayed as Amy, so I guess she decided to name the chat that. Although looking back on it, if it was a roleplay filled with Amy's, that would have been funny. Some kind of fucking Amy paradise. I made a lot of friends in that chat, one of which was my girlfriend. That was all the way back in 2018, and I hold such fond memories of that one specific chat. It reignited my passion for Sonic. Not the chat, but just, you know, the Amino as a whole, and seeing so many, you know, other Sonic fans interact and stuff. Honestly, I didn't know much about Sonic lore at that point. I knew, like, I don't know, the main cast. And that was basically it. I mean, I knew Sonic stopped Eggman, but I didn't even know why he did it in the first place. Or, you know, in the case of the classic games, which started that trend. Honestly, I didn't really know much about Sonic back then. I was going through my own Sonic mania, though. And it was amazing. I even played my first Sonic game at the time. It was Sonic 2, since it was available on the Play Store for $4.99. So I bought that and played it to death. And even now, I still have that app. I roleplayed a Sonic, obviously. And had some weird version of him where he could do sans things. Like, he had fucking a single blue eye that would happen sometimes. That was crazy. He also had his dark side, which was Dark Sonic from Sonic X, and his EXE side, which was obviously Sonic.exe. Writing this part of the script really made me cringe, and reading it isn't doing me any favors. I was so cringy. A year later, and I made 2 new friends on that Amino, who I consider as my best friends, even if we don't talk that much anymore, due to, you know, how long we've been talking and the things we've experienced together. Eventually, the 3 of us made a new Amino, and we invited a few others from part of a chat that I made. It wasn't a public chat, it was just a private chat, and it was called Tiny PP. Let's go! The name was brought up by a member of Tiny PP right when it was made, and I thought it was funny, so I said, yes, we are Tiny PP. So because of that, I wasn't on the Sonic Amino as much. I mean, I still went there, obviously, but you know. The chat I was in had turned into Welcome to Hell, where the background was Markiplier flipping off the camera with two middle fingers. The chat had become pretty inactive after summer of 2019 because, you know, people had to go to school, so they couldn't spend all day in a chat just talking and role-playing and stuff. And I still opened it frequently to talk to my girlfriend and my other friends there. But eventually, in late 2021, I uninstalled Amino. I reinstall it every once in a while, just for nostalgia though. Just to open it up and see that classic fucking Sonic Amino type, you know, pages and stuff. Fun fact, I'm like level 16 or 17 on there, and there's only 20 levels on Aminos. So, needless to say, I was really close to getting to that big number 20. Okay, so, no script this time. I recorded this finishing part hours ago, but I wasn't really satisfied with the wrap-up that I had. Sonic the Hedgehog is a franchise that I hold near and dear to my heart, since, you know, it's, like I said at the beginning, I was like 4 or something when I first started, you know, or when I first took an interest in Sonic. All those Sunday mornings of just watching Sonic X, they were really nice, honestly. Yeah, I really fucking love Sonic. It is tied with Dragon Ball as my #1 favorite franchise. Or, I guess in that case, favorite franchises. For a while, I thought Dragon Ball was my favorite, but the more I thought about it, I can't put Dragon Ball over Sonic, nor can I put Sonic over Dragon Ball, you know? I love them both equally. They're like my little children. That's an odd analogy, but I'm filled with odd analogies. Sonic is, to me, he's a lot of what I want to be. You know, like, the amount of confidence he has, I really admire, and I wish I could have that much confidence. He always seems to be able to, you know, do good things, and I want that to be me, too. I mean, I'm not a bad person or anything, but sometimes I kinda suck at making decisions. Well, not necessarily decisions, but not knowing what to do. I guess that ties into my no confidence, or my lack of confidence. I like to think that I'm like Sonic, but sometimes I feel like I'm more like Tails, who just looks up to Sonic and, you know, tries his best to keep up and kinda copy him, you know? Once again, weird analogy, but I'm full of them. I'm so excited for the Sonic 3 movie. I'm so excited for Sonic Shadow Generations. I'm so excited to see what the future has for Sonic now that, you know, the public reception of him is finally starting to change for the better like it used to be. No matter what the quality of the games are or what the fan base thinks of Sonic, I'm always gonna love him and his games. Hell, I thought even something as Forces was an okay game. Am I just the biggest Sonic dick rider? Probably. But it's because I love this franchise so much. I love the games, I love the soundtracks, I love the characters, the levels. there is so much to love. I can find the good in pretty much any Sonic game. Because, you know, I just like them that much. I like Sonic that much that I'm willing to, you know, look past, you know, odd little moments in his lifespan and just accept them, you know? I really hope, Sonic Team, you know, keeps up the good track they've had of Sonic ever since. Well, I mean, I was gonna say ever since the first movie dropped, but then Colors Ultimate happened and a lot of people didn't like it. I hope they keep up the good reception that they had last year. I really do, because I don't want to see anything happen to Sonic, or Amy, or Tails, Knuckles, Shadow. I don't want anything to happen to any of them, because I'll always love them. I'm not a furry, I promise. I just have a lot of passion for Sonic. Well, with all of that said and done, me explaining my history with Sonic, and me getting out my feelings about how I feel about the franchise, I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.